One.
And here we are with part 2 of part 2. Now that we have our mics on, it's welcome to Quilt and Code for our, I don't know, holiday special where we are doing a little notebook cover using our, I'm going to have Kai, we have our tech crew back there. Today is Kai and
Alex. With the camera. Is that good?
And so we're working on a notebook cover that has a few embellishments in it. And so last time we talked, we put all of our images on there, and I showed you how to do the applique, prepare the applique, and then I went ahead and did the applique using the clear thread. And so all of this has been stitched down. And then I did an embellishment using some awesome thick ribbon-like thread and made my ornament stand out because I did use some awfully dark blue fabric here, and so things are having a problem standing out. And then I wanted to show you let's see, what else did I add? Okay, so I added this, which is really cool, but it takes too long for me to show you how to do it online. So therefore, I am going to do a whole series on embellishments coming up in the new year. And I'm really excited about that series. It's going to be using old fancy napkins, you know, those handkerchiefs. And so I have planned a whole series now on using these old handkerchiefs that were given to us by Joyce Watts, who said, I don't know what to do with these, play. And so we're going to play and make a whole bunch of projects. And I am now excited because I'm getting into all this embellishment stuff and learning a whole bunch of new things that I can demonstrate to you guys how to just flare everything up. So I did want it, I'm like playing with all this stuff. And so I wanted to explain how right here, I did do some berries. I found some really awesome berries. Aren't they cute? They are not what I wanted. I decided they are not what I, so Mom already took them out on the bottom here, and we picked out a whole bunch of buttons to use as berries instead. Hopefully I have my red thread up here and I can actually show you how to do that. If not, we'll use the clear because the clear is awesome. And so the other thing we wanted to show you was how to do some stitches using embroidery floss. And so if you have never done hand stitching, I am not an expert yet. I am getting much better at it. I got a kit here that is, he's got cutie hair over him because Pebbles has been helping me with him. But I've enjoyed this project because I get to sit on my couch and do it. And lately I'm so tired that that's what I want to do, sit on my couch.
With your cat on your lap.
With my cat on my lap. My cat is on the older side, and so she's starting to go down in health, and so she and I are just spending lots and lots of loving time together. So even with this, I thought maybe this right here, this using my special new thread, that I could do that embellishment on the stars. And I'm not quite sure if I'm ready for that yet, because unlike how whoopsie, don't lose any of those silly things. Unlike how this was in a nice round circle or a straight line, I didn't have any problems with this. Well, actually, I did have some problems with it, but you can't tell because I hid it. And so this one has some straight points and so I'm not quite sure I'm ready for that to be it yet. So I've got to practice some more. But it was a great first start. Like right here did perfect. So now I got to figure out what I did here to make that work. So no worries. So anyway, these are now kits available in our shop. So if you enjoy hand sewing, this is, all this is hand sewn. These are kits that actually come with these little buttons. And so they are now available in our store, and it's got berries all over here. I'm not done with this thing yet. So it's got berries to go all over here, and on his hat, I learned yesterday how to do this stitch right here, the flower stitch. And so
it's a lazy daisy stitch.
A lazy daisy stitch. You can tell who taught me. And so trying to get as much as I can out of this wealth of knowledge right here next to me. So I'm going to go ahead and take out the, actually, I'm going to hand this over to you, Mom. And I'm going to ask you, Mom, if you will take out those berries so that I can put on the buttons. And while Mom does that, I'm going to bring over here, and this is a foot right here. Can we see that foot? Come closer. Okay, thank you. So this is a foot. It's called a button foot. Okay, and this actually puts the button onto your garment. And the way you want to put it on is, this one is really nice because it's got this blue right here. And this blue is in front. And that's how I want to put my piece onto my machine. So this is where it's going to hook into my feet. And then right here, so it's a little bit easier for you to see here, you can see this lip back here. And that is what holds that button up, or the machine off the button, so that you can put that button on. When you're putting the button into the machine, you want to put the button so that it is in between those two spots. And I'm going to do this for you 6 times so that you can see just how wonderful and easy this is to put on buttons. And so there is no excuse anymore
It doesn't do shank buttons, though.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it has to have and if you have the 4 holes, I know I was supposed to match with the Christmas attire, but I think my husband keeps it at about 350 degrees up here. And so, am I right? Okay. So Kai says I am just cooking because of the holidays. All right, so here we go. I am going to change out my regular foot and put on my button foot. Normally I would have the same thread, and I know I brought that thread up here. But of course it's live TV and never can find what I need. So I am changing out my gray thread. My gray thread is going to be what I use to put the notebook together in just a few minutes. And so I am going to switch to clear thread. And so this stuff is awesome. This is the Sulky Clear Invisalign thread, and it's almost like a fishing wire. And so one of the things that I do on my machine is I keep my threads behind normally, but with the Invisalign, because it's such a small spool, I keep it up top. And so you're going to see why I keep most of my threads down here below, is because it does this bit. And that drives me crazy with my tensions. So I like to keep that. See, it just drives me crazy. All right, so I'm going to thread this baby up. And see if I can position my,
I've gotten so I don't use the needle threader.
Yeah.
But somehow in my old age, it's gotten easier for me to thread.
Oh, you just hush. Okay, see, look how easy that was. No problem. With all this hand stitching stuff that I've been doing, I got a magnifier with light on my fur at home. And oh my gosh, I am threading needles like I was 16 again.
And I never thought I would hear her say, I love doing hand stitching.
No, like I'm enjoying it, I think, mostly because I'm at home and sitting on my couch and not thinking. I can just do. All right, so I am gonna just arrange these berries. I wanted to show you this. Okay, so most buttons come with these, like, they've stapled them on. And so how do you get that staple out? I use a seam ripper and I just pull it. And that opens it up enough for me to pull that thing out. And so
when they're on the cards, that holds them on the cards.
That holds them on the cards. And so if you need help getting those off, then use your seam ripper. All right, so I'm going to move this over here so that you can sort of see maybe better. Maybe I'll turn this way. There we go. I wanted to have some
Is that
berries.
a good position?
Right there, and we're getting the okay there. I'm going to turn it so that I can put the button there, and then the button stitch is a stitch that looks like, I gotta find it.
It's a zigzag, short zigzag.
Yeah, I know. So we will just do that, short zigzag, because I'm not finding out which one it is. So I'm going to change so that I know where, good. Okay, so I want to be able to go like this, 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 and then I'm going to change this down to its smallest point that it can go. All right, and then the first thing that I do anytime I am putting a button on is to do it by hand so that I know I am not gonna, and I am. So I go back to here and make that smaller and smaller. And then I do it by hand again just to make sure I am not gonna hit the button. And then I tack, and I do several of them, and I tack. And so tacking is just doing a few, and so I'm not even using the button stitch. Normally the button stitch looks like a circle with two dots in it. It just needs the smile for the smiley face or the emoji. And then I'm not even cutting my threads. I am going to bring my next little berry in here and position my little berries so that those two, you notice that we did really good in picking out little berries that have just the two holes. And then I'm going to check again just to make sure.
I had one that had 4, but shoot.
I said nope. Nope. If you had 4, I would just turn it. So, you know, you would do 1 and then turn it. And then I'm going to bring in, let's see, let's do the big one. So we'll put the big one right here in the center. When it comes to any type of anything, whether it's embellishment or whatever, it's usually odd numbers that you kind of want to have. And so this is 3 berries in each place, just because you kind of want odd numbers. I don't know why that is. 1 ornament, 1 bird. If I did 2 birds, for some reason, it looks kind of, I don't know, off. Depending on what you're doing. And so you notice that she's designed this, so it has 3, you know, pieces of green. 1, anyway, that's why, is that the rule is kind of that you would want to have 3. And now that I'm done with that, I can go ahead and pull it out. And then I like to pull from the bottom and then clip my threads. That will bring the top thread through a little bit before I go clipping it. And now all I have to do is clip my top threads and see how, now I'm telling you, last night I was putting those berries on and those berries took a lot longer than these buttons on. So that is that instant gratification in me that I do sometimes have, I will admit. All right, so down here, I'm gonna put 3 more little berries. So we're gonna start with this guy right here. Keep it going on the side, just like that, so that you can see. And I'm gonna just double check. Yeah. All I need to do here is just move my berry in a little bit. There we go. It has been the case that I have not checked and broken buttons. or needles. And so double check that you really are in a position that that your needle is going to go down on. Okay, come back here. Come back here. This is where the seam ripper comes in very handy to get those buttons where they need to be. Ah, perfect.
If not a seam ripper, a stiletto works too.
Oh yeah, stiletto, seam ripper, anything to get that in there. Pins are kind of small. Here we go. I hear robots in the other room. I know we made a big deal about how the robot overlords had made it so that we couldn't do our live yesterday. And really, that was, yes, a little bit of robot overlord. But Derek had his pulmonology appointment. He's good. And then we also saw a surgeon who is helping us with the robot. And so, cool things happen when you least expect them. So his surgeon is really, really sweet and is helping us with the robot. So, and he got to catch up with her. So she's adorable. So there we go. Last one. See? Embellishment almost done. I did not tack that one. So we're going to tack you right here.
It's not going to matter.
I know. And then we're going to tack right here. Just to be on the safe side. And so berries are done. And I like that a lot better than I did the beads that I was using. So that's good. So pulling that out, stopping right here, pulling this a little bit, and then clipping on my threads up here. So there are the berries. Okay, one other thing. I'm doing the feet down here using the stitch that my mother is gonna, mom's got the blanket stitch going right now. And so I'm gonna, wait a minute. I'm gonna do this. You get to show the blanket stitch in just a second.
Oh, okay.
So
I thought you showed that before.
I haven't shown this yet. So this is the straight stitch, correct? Yeah, this is the straight stitch. Okay, and
back stitch, straight stitch.
Back stitch, straight.
Is that? Are you doubling back on it, or no? Just sewing
I don't know. So she's about to tell me how I'm doing it all wrong, and we're all going to just go with it. Okay, and so I am going to start by, you know what, guys? I'm a perfectionist. I never have been. I just want to enjoy it. And so I am going to go here. Can you still see, Kai? Excellent. And I'm going to go here. I am attempting to keep my stitches as even as possible. And so there I got some feet, and then I'm going to go right up. Oh, nope, not there. Right here in the hole that I had come up in before, right there. And then I'm going to go, oopsie. See, this is where I'm like, okay.
Your thread's too short, probably.
I need my,
your magnifying glass.
so that I can thread it like a 16-year-old. Oh, and I'm using 2 strands. So with embroidery floss comes in 6 strands. It's never going to thread through that way, silly. And see if I got to hold my tongue just right. Here we go. Oh, I think I had it. Come on, you. Might have to get Alex over here to do it.
What do you need? I can do it.
So mom's going to thread that needle while I demonstrate. So this is embroidery floss. This is how it comes. And the way you separate embroidery floss is you go up here to the top, and if you just tap it, it breaks out into its 6 strands, and then you pull one out at a time. My daughter, as I tell on her right now, pulls out however many strands she needs at a time. I'm telling you, I keep trying to do that, and then I keep telling myself, do it mom's way. Because if you pull it out 1 strand at a time, it won't knot up. if you pull out more than one strand at a time, you'll get lucky every now and then. But most of the time, it's just going to knot up, and it takes less time to just do it one at a time. So just do it one at a time.
Well, I have another way to do it too.
Oh, okay. So do it Mom's way.
Well,
She's a lot more experienced than I do. That's why I brought her along.
One of the ways I do it, okay, this one's, I've already taken 2 off of this one. So I'll take 2.
Can't see it.
Well, you're going to need to see me. Because what I do, is take,
Okay.
so, and pull, then I've got 2.
So that's how you do it without knotting it. All right. So now it's threaded. I can finish this little silly leg. I marked it with my friction pen. You can't really see that. And then I simply go down. When I go down there, I'm going to come up. I absolutely can. And like I said, this is not the angle that I do this at. So his little legs are not going to be perfect, but it's okay. It's Rebecca's Christmas present. So
it should be a cat.
Rebecca, well, it really should be.
Should be a gray cat.
No, she likes those.
Oh, she's got tabbies now.
She's got orange.
She's got orange tabbies. Real pale orange. They're really beautiful.
So the hardest part that I have is the coming up. So right there, that actually looked pretty good. If at first you succeed, try not to act surprised. So the hardest part I have is not here. So it's coming up here. So you want to come up right here at the end of this one. At least that's how I've been doing it. And so that is the hardest part for me, is coming right in on that end. And now I'm going this away because, you know, he's got little, oopsie. That was not nearly long enough, but that's okay.
Yeah, that is the straight stitch.
Straight stitch. So I'm doing a straight stitch, not a back stitch. Now y'all know. And I will learn them.
Well, Rebecca wanted to learn how to, we're going to have to get her on this week while she's here.
Rebecca is much better at hand sewing.
She wanted to learn how to do hand embroidery, and I hadn't done it in years. So I showed her like 3 stitches, and she went online and learned the rest and just took off with it.
Right. Talk about becoming the best. Like, she overtook the master in about 2 minutes.
Well, she's able to learn things online very easily. Some people can't.
Oh, for heaven's sakes. Come on. There we go. All right. I'm really cool with that. He looks great. So now I'm going to turn it over. And, oh, I didn't mention this. So I went ahead and did all my quilting before I started putting my embellishments on, because I saw those big, huge beads, and I thought, there's no way I will be able to.
I think the buttons are the same thing, though.
Right. There was no way I was going to be able to feel comfortable quilting around them. So I went ahead and quilted. And all I did was a stipple. And I did it with my clear thread on top and my gray on the bottom. You can't even see it on top. It's really much more of a texture thing than it is anything else. And it's just holding that on. And the wonderful thing, well, okay, it's very hard to see when you're using that clear thread. So you can see how sometimes I cross the streams. You know, the whole time I'm doing meandering stitching, I'm going, don't cross the streams, don't cross the streams. You know, and my brother will start singing the Ghostbusters theme as I'm saying, don't cross the streams, don't cross the streams. And so, yeah, anyway, so we're a weird family. So now that I'm done with this, and I've accidentally, I probably needed longer thread. So all I'm going to do with this is probably not what I'm supposed to. I probably should knot it right. I mean, put that thing right back on, but all I'm going to do is knot it. It's not like this is going to have any stress or anything. So I am just going to knot it. And then I got to check. Oh, I got one more embellishment I wanted to show you. And then we're ready to put the notebook together, and it won't take 15 minutes. And yes, I will have a pattern for the notebook part online. As you remember, the actual applique is coming from Mistletoe Crossing on Wonder Lane. And so I can't give that to you. But we do have Wonder Lane Mistletoe Crossing available on the website or in store. And what a great gift to give a quilter. But this awesome project. It is an actual block of the month, and we have all of them. And so I am doing all sorts of embellishments with it. Where's this one? Mistletoe Crossing, and the bird is not on the block of the month.
Oh, okay.
It's just an extra thing in the. I mean, like there's 5 extra projects in the book. Placemats, all sorts of stuff extra in the book, and just wonderful little applique that you could do anywhere. Oh my gosh, the feet really are cute. Don't
act surprised.
I added a pretty big bead to his eye, because remember last week I was sort of a little concerned that his head was just a little too long. And so, So, okay, last thing I wanted to add was a little bit of, I wanted to also, we got 2 things to add. Okay, so let me get this one on. So this is some blue ribbon.
Like a sequin glitter.
Right, sequin ribbon. And I wanted to add a little,
glitter.
Yeah, a little ornament top. And then I wanted to show how it was supposed to come from his beak, but that wouldn't have been right. It needed to be upright. And so it's coming from the tree instead. So you can do anything. If you mess something up, you just go with it. And no one will ever know. In fact, Rebecca is just going to love this. It's not going to matter. So all I'm going to do with this is put on my regular foot. So away you go, button foot, and putting on my regular straight foot. And I am actually, because it's already threaded and I don't have to thread it again, I am actually going to use if it really is threaded. Let me just double check.
With the filament thread, it's hard to tell.
It's like, are you really there?
I think you just pulled it out. No, you almost pulled it out.
I pulled it out. That's okay. It means I get to use the needle threader again. See, I don't have any problems with it, especially if I can see the thread. Okay. All right. So all I'm going to do is fold this over a little bit and look, I have that zigzag stitch already on here. I'm just going to clear it out and make it go back to its normal zigzag type of thing. And then,
straight stitch. Or
do you recommend a straight stitch, or do you recommend?
I don't know.
We'll figure this out. And then
you'd probably have to put 2 straight stitches around.
Yeah, so I thought I would zigzag. Boom. Get on there. I'm really not. I just want to tack it. Tack it. And then go forward. And tack. Look at that. It looks like a little bow.
Oh, is that all you wanted?
Yeah, I just wanted a little thing at the top.
I was supposed to bring in the old fabric and I forgot all about it.
All right, last little thing. While I get the machine set up to put the notebook cover together, Mom's going to show you how to put We have the finishing touch, right? I'm like in love with embellishment now. I'm just loving. I have got so many ideas. They're just overflowing, ridiculous. I have to write them all down, or I'm going to mess it all up. And so I'm going to move this camera over to Mom. She's going to show you how to do that. I'm going to hand you.
I've got a needle.
And I'm going to hand you that and that. So we're going to put it on with that clear thread.
And this is crazy because I can't see it.
Do you need me to do it?
No, I can do it. It's a challenge.
She loves challenges. So how are we doing online? Any folks? Nobody's commented, but there is a couple people on.
I think so.
Hi, guys. Oh, Merry Christmas, Kathy. Right, and then we had difficulty with. I know we have lots of people that go on later and watch it. So hi to all of you that come on later and watch it. Happy holidays. We're so glad you joined us. And we got so much stuff coming in the new year. It's so cool. Yay! We have several block of the months coming. We have brand new fabric.
Okay, I've lost the thread. She forgot to bring the white thread up.
It's all my fault.
Yeah, of course.
It's all my fault. I'm cool with it. There might be some white in here.
I didn't have any white.
So while she's getting that ready to go, I have created the lining. Okay. And this is the lining for the actual, yes.
Kathy said I'm cutting out my quilt while watching.
Oh, nice. The new one? Oh, fantastic. I can't wait. So this is the lining for the back of the actual front, okay? And then this is the back. No, right? Yes.
I don't know.
Okay, yes, this is my lining. This is not, I decided to go with the light blue. This is probably what I should have used to begin with. But as you can see, I didn't really have that much, so I had to piece some of it. I mean, it's all scraps. Nobody's really going to see it, so it doesn't really matter. And then I want to have, so that's the lining. And then I want to have, I need to have these flaps to keep the notebook on there. And so that's what I'm doing right now. So I have cut a 5.5 inch by, I think it's 10.5 inch piece. And what I did was I folded over twice. And now I am simply going to top stitch right there so that it will hold that fold in place.
I don't believe it. I threaded the needle.
She threaded it! Woo! Okay.
Well, when you can't see the thread. And yeah,
she needs my magnifier.
I don't think it would make any difference because you still can't see the thread.
The thing I like about the magnifier more than anything else is the light. I need light to sew now. It's ridiculous. I almost like sewing up here better because I can put these lights on while I'm sewing regular stuff. And it's just spoiling me rotten. So I've almost thought about getting these for home. All right, you ready? Switching over.
I'm putting a knot in just a second.
Oh, she's putting a knot in it.
I don't think I like this thread for hand sewing.
Up. This is wonderful. Derek didn't watch, so I have no idea what y'all saw the last time. I had two helpers back there.
He sat there playing with his telephone.
Yeah, he played on his phone the whole time.
And we asked if anybody was on, and there were people on. No, there's nobody on.
Right? But he was free help, so I can't say anything. Right? I get what I pay for. That's all there is to it.
Or is it you pay what you get for?
Right. One of these days, we'll get that silly thing on there.
Okay, I'm just going to come up from behind here. And hopefully the knot's big enough. This thread's too long.
Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh.
Well, the
Put it in half. Put it in doubles. When I did my eye, I doubled my thread and knotted
okay.
both strands. Put it in doubles.
That's what I'm doing.
Would you like me to do it? You threaded my needle for earlier.
I got the needle threaded. I just need to find the knot.
We're gonna be here all day waiting for her to find a knot.
Okay.
Do, 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 do. So while she's doing that, I'm getting my back ready.
This is, how many people does it take to sew on a pom-pom? And it keeps, it all, the other thing that it does is it circles up on me.
So I have placed my,
Keep going, Allison.
I'm ready to put this thing together. That little pom-pom's gonna get there. I have placed my backing down on the table. And then I have placed my raw edges on each side to the raw edges of each side, okay? And so my holder here, and everything is face up to me, okay? And so my holder here is the folded stitch side on the inside. And you can see my little seam here. Maybe you can't because the camera's doing funny things. All right, finally, I think we're here.
If it'll catch.
Uh-oh, go ahead. Move the camera. Yeah? Okay.
Okay, I'm just coming up from behind.
There we go. We're in action.
Oh, yeah, and just catch some of the pom-pom. Okay, where did I put it?
See, I love the invisible thread because you can make all sorts of mistakes and nobody ever knows.
Yeah.
Look at that. Oh my God, it finishes off so well.
So I'm going to put a couple stitches through it. And we have a stash of stuff downstairs. And we just went looking.
We are using, everything that we're using is leftover from something. And so we don't throw our garments away without taking the buttons off. And we don't, anyone who donates or, we have people at church who are like, oh, you sew, here you go. And so most seamstresses and most quilters are like that. They receive all sorts of things. Well, we're hoarders. And so on top of receiving all sorts of things, we're hoarders and don't throw anything away. So we have tons and tons and tons of stuff. Which is now coming in handy. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can use this for this, and I can use this for this. So it's super exciting. It's justifying the hoarding that we have had all along. Thank you, Kyla.
Well, it's funny because when we first opened the store, and also one day I walked in and Allison says, oh, we went shopping in your stash.
Yeah. We used to.
So she and Rebecca had gone shopping in my stash.
Well, we had gone in Burnsville area, we had gone for about 3 years. 4 years.
As you can see, you cannot see that thread.
Yeah. And
so this is on. I went 3 times around.
And he's on pretty good.
And it's going to stay there. So I'm going to knot him off. And I'm just going to do this because I came through the bottom. And if I can get,
you're going to go around, right?
I'm going to go around 3 times and then I'm done.
And I'm ready.
Good. Take it away.
Right? I have pins. I'm ready.
We were talking yesterday. She was working on something and realized pins do come in very handy.
Right. I was doing a quilt and should have been pinning my seams. Because I took them out. And I am instant gratification, and sometimes pins make it so that you're instant gratification and it looks good. It looked that bad. It looked that bad. So Kyla's laughing at me, and so is Alex.
Where's the thread?
All right, so now I want to place him on top here. And I have done the measurements just about perfectly. And because of that, I want to, and I'm going to do a 3/8 inch seam. That's smaller than I do for most of my notebook covers, but this guy was very perfect. And so after the quilting, I'm sure it has shrunk up a little bit. And so I've sort of been like, okay, I'm just going to do a 3/8 inch seam and it'll be fine. And so now I am going to place him right sides together with everything else. Look at how wonderful it looks on the back.
You can't see mine on.
That was just sassy. So I am going to leave down here at the bottom. I am going to leave a nice space open so I can turn this thing inside out. And so to remind myself to stop, I am going to put 2 pins here. And that way I know that this is my starting and stopping point. Because sometimes I'm watching TV or I'm listening to an audiobook and I just get carried away with the sewing and forget to stop. And my guard has always been 2 pins to stop. And so that is what has always really helped me. And then I do pin quite a bit because I want to make sure that I don't grow as I'm sewing. I want to make sure that everything stays where it needs to stay. And like I said, I'm going to use that 3/8 inch seam. I have switched over to gray thread. I thought that was pretty neutral for me. And let's do one more because I've got a couple of layers here, 3 layers actually. And then bring my sewing machine back over. Bring my thread back. I had to go back down and find a red button because I had lost a red button, and there she is. That red thread, it's down here. It's here. All right, and to change my needle positioning to a 3/8, I simply move my needle over a little bit. And so not as much as I move it over for a 1/4 inch seam, but we have a question. Yes. Oh, camera up. Thank you. Okay. One of these days, we're going to have a really professional set, and they'll be able to do it themselves.
Well, what
the little swivel cameras, like instead of watching it goes through it wants to be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I want one hanging from the top, and it's going to happen.
And
someday.
you're going to need one around your head.
Right, right. So that, you know. I would. So now I have tacked it. I'm actually going to go backwards a little bit at that stress point because I'm going to be pulling it through and I want it to really work well. Oh, and I'm going to go ahead and turn my iron on because I'm going to want to iron this out just a little bit before I finish it off. And so we'll go ahead and turn that iron on. And I am going to go all the way around. It's hard for you guys to hear anything when I'm sewing, so I'm going to try and do this as quickly as possible. Boom. Okay, when I get to the corner, I pivot, pull my pin out. Never run over pins because you can break a needle. You can damage your machine. I have a feeling that that's the reason why my little pink one's out under the weather right now is because I broke a needle going over a pin, and I didn't mean it. I always pull my pins out, and it has hit the I believe it hit the bobbin case, and so now I need a new bobbin case because it is just not behaving.
You can knock the timing out too.
Right. I mean, don't run over pins. It's not a good thing. Even if it says it's a pin that you can run over, don't do it.
It also preserves your pins too. if you don't
Right.
run over them, because every time if you hit a pin, it's going to
Did you see what
bend
I
it.
picked up a pin earlier and I was like, no, I'm not using that one. It's bent. We bend a lot of pins, putting pins in fabric downstairs, and it's like,
Or in zippers for the long arm.
right. Okay, so once I get through with this, I'm going to back stitch at the 2 pins. And you can see how it's just keeping everything nice, and by pinning it, I don't have to think, which really, you know, sometimes the prep is just, it's worth it because you don't have to think. As much as some of us instant gratification people prefer that to get rid of that extra step, it makes it worth it. So I'm at my 2 pins. That is my cue to say you should not go any further. And I back stitched at that area so that stress is good. Okay, so now the next thing that I do, sorry, moving that camera backwards. The next thing I do is just make sure, right? Doesn't matter to me. Make sure that I caught all the layers, and I did a gorgeous job. I could have done better. Like, this is unusual for me to get this
First try.
perfect. So, oh no, wait a minute. I do that all the time. And so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to clip my corners.
Oh, now wait a minute. There's a trick to that too.
Ooh.
Okay.
Something new.
Put your thumb right there.
Oh. That way you don't.
And then
clip
when
the
you
actual
cut it,
stitching.
You don't cut your stitches.
Look at that. See, we just learned something new yet again. So putting
That's what I'm here for.
my thumb there. Got to learn from the master, man.
But she's taught me how to quilt because I've been an apparel sewer forever and ever.
And I'm just learning. I mean, like, I am taking classes myself to learn how to do all this stuff. So next thing I'm going to do, I like to go to as far as I can into my piece, and then I'm going to begin pulling it out. And I do this gently. I do not try and pull as hard as I possibly can. There's embellishments, and I just don't do it anyway.
Yeah, but this is where
ease it out.
Instant gratification isn't.
Right. You gotta, I mean, like I said, you know, it's instant gratification, but let's, you know, I don't want to redo anything. That's not instant gratification if I have to redo. Okay. So I bring this on out. And the last thing to do is to simply oh, and you see how this looks like, oh my gosh, I did this wrong. It's caught me a couple of times. So they fold in, so everything is fine. Everything is fine. Just do it the way I taught you. Everything is fine. Okay, so I also get my fingers in here into the corners to get them out as much as I can. Now, once you put that notebook in there, those little corners are just going to come right on out. So I'm not too concerned about how getting my points in there is. I have things, I could stick a stick in there. I could stick stylus,
A purple thing.
That type of thing in there. So look, oh my goodness. He's so cute. He has a little close on the edge here, right? Well, that's because I haven't quite ironed yet. And I don't really need to iron, but it sure does look better if you do. And so it's worth it.
And the other thing you could do is take your seam ripper.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, but I've had times when I mess that up. So I'll let her do it.
How many biggest messed up you've done for yourself?
Right.
Therefore, what Kyla just said is that if we mess up, then we blame Alice, mom. Yeah, we blame mom.
Alice mom.
She told us to do it, right?
And the other thing that I like to do is just take it and go the opposite direction with it, like so. And that way you can pull it out too.
Screwdrivers work really nice. So you can get the screwdriver in there.
It's not perfect, but there it is.
Right. So if you get the screwdriver in there, it sort of gives you that perfect corner. I can't get it in there. Save my life. There it goes. Not happening. Yeah, there it goes. Okay. See, look at that. Just brought that out. So it really, there are all sorts of things that you don't need anything special for in order to get that. So when I am ironing this and trying to get this out, notice how I rub my fingers together? That is a wonderful way to get it out there. And then I've got a nice hot, I think, iron. And then I just press it a little bit.
And then it's easier also to...
Right, and it's easier to close. So makes everything nice and easy. So, using your fingers to go back and forth there to pull that fabric out. And you could top stitch if, that's what I would do if my thing is too big. So if I get my notebook on and I just have way too much space, then you can top stitch to get your notebook there. There's all sorts of ways that you can fix what you've done wrong, because instant gratification often leads to creative, whatever it's called. What is it?
License.
Creative license, creative possibilities, because you screwed up. There we go. Oh my gosh, this is just, I think Rebecca's going to like it.
Just tell her not to watch the...
Right?
It doesn't matter.
We went shopping for, if I say those things, then I really am going to give everything away. We went shopping for me yesterday. We found stuff for Rebecca. I was like, okay. Wait a minute. That's not fair. Okay, cool. So I have simply gone, I did not trim anything down there so that I could specifically have enough, to be able to fold under. And now what I do is I put pins in to hold these two pieces together. And I want to hold it so that I can pull it out as I'm stitching. And boy, is this just working better than I could have ever imagined on TV. So now I go as close as I can to the edge while grabbing both pieces to close up my little seam. Whee! Which means that I move my needle all the way over. Whoopsie. All the way over so that I can keep the presser foot going on all my feed dogs and get as far over as I possibly can. And then the first thing I do is go a few stitches.
Did you put your foot down?
I did. Okay. And go back. So the question was, did I put my foot down? And when you are doing this type of project, it is, and it's so thick that there's a point to that. Did you put your foot down? Okay, so other things. Inside, instead of using a batting, I used a fusible fleece. It sticks to my fabric, so when I'm doing my quilting, it's not going anywhere. I don't have to worry about it. And but it still gives a little bit of oomph to the project. And then what else did I do? I wanted to show you you need to change your needle to a quilting needle, a quilting foot. Sorry, you don't have to change your needle. You can to a quilting needle, but this is a quilting foot, and you want to make sure I screwed up yesterday because I put this thing underneath instead of on top. You can't see it. Thank you. I'm now getting the like hand motions in the back there as to what's going on. So we're almost done. So isn't that the truth of it? So this goes on top. So this little lever right here goes on top of the of this needle where you change your needle. So that thing goes on top when you put your quilting foot on. You want that quilting foot on so that it holds that fabric to the thing. So, all right, here we go. Moment of truth. Did I measure everything right? Okay, everything else has been going so perfectly. Do not hold this against me, okay? So the way I like to put these notebook covers on is to sort of tip your notebook in. So far, so good. Anyway, like that, and then put this side to this side. It's nice and tight, so that's good. I like them tighter than I like them looser. And like I said, if I had it loose, then I would probably go back and put a top stitch in. All right. Yeah. See, don't hold it against me. There we go. Okay. Whee! Oh, look at that. It's tight, but that's okay. That's what I want. I have had loose ones, and it's like they're a pain in the butt. And so look. Okay, so it's a little on the tight side. It's a little on the tight side. It's not mine, right? It's not mine. It's Rebecca's, so it'll be okay. Oh, but there it is. And so, and that is because I tried to use a perfect piece and didn't give myself any shrinkage. And I would definitely, yeah, it'll stretch out. So, but it looks so cute. Okay, stretch out, stretch out. There we go. See, the back looks great. There you go. Happy holidays. Thank you for joining us for part 2 of the notebook cover.
And
the directions have much better measurements in there. And like I said, I was trying to use scraps too.
so are we going to do it? Are we going to do it next week, or are we going to wait till next year?
We're going to wait until next year to do any more lives. So we will see you the first week of January. I'm not quite sure what we're doing yet. But we will see the first week of January for another.
She'll Shanghai me into something.
Right. We're gonna do. We're gonna move into Frost Hill, which is January's block of the month of the Art to Heart Wander Lane series, and we're gonna move into Frost Hill. And it has the sweetest. Okay, I will give a hint. It has the sweetest fox. And so I don't know what we're doing with the fox yet. Whether we're gonna make a bag or whether we're going to make a pot holder but boy, it has the sweetest little fox. And so I know we're doing something with the fox. So join us in a couple weeks, and have a happy holiday, and we'll see you in the new year. Bye, everyone.
Bye.